I've been unemployed for the last 8 months, and I must be honest, this is the worst tech industry that I've ever seen. Okay, since my last video that I actually uploaded I might still re-upload it, but I took it down because I didn't think I'd be able to find work if it were to remain up. I essentially recorded and posted my meeting where I was given the news that my position had been eliminated. And I had some choice things to say, which is why I took it down, but maybe I'll put that up again. But basically, when it happened, I took about 7 months off just to kind of figure things out. Usually I take a couple weeks off to figure out what happened to the industry, not what happened, but how the industry has shifted since my last search. Of course, spend some time on some personal projects that have been kind of on the back burner, and really spend some time researching the tech career. Not to be confused with the tech industry, because I think the tech industry is actually doing really well. I'm talking specifically about the tech career, which isn't doing so good. I looked at things like, okay, how is AI actually affecting the engineering role? How is offshoring? Let's look a little deeper. When you hear a large company is laying off tens of thousands of people, look a little deeper and see, okay, is there something else that, of course, the CEO is going to say one thing, but you're getting a bunch of mixed signals of why. And it probably could be all of them. Personally, for me, I had to make a decision, so I had to decide on whether or not I should pay attention to all these red flags that are happening in the software engineering field. Not only that, but it was the summer and took my dog out for walks multiple times a day, working with my hands outside. Watched a little bit too much YouTube, watched a little too much Sports Center, sat and stared at the wall, mobile games. Pretty much kept myself busy, but I wasn't really trying to write code because I didn't know which direction I was going to go. I definitely did a lot of studying. I studied, of course, software architecture because I'm interested in software architecture. It's my craft, right? So what are you if not trying to improve on your craft every day? And my craft was software engineering, constantly improve. So I'm reading and I'm watching courses and contemplating maybe going back and getting my master's degree. But I always kind of stop short of actually following through. And I'm glad I did at this point because during that time I was thinking, well, if I just retool, I can find something else like last time. And unfortunately, I started looking about a month ago. I said, all right, I'm ready. I know the skill set that I'm going to target. I know the type of job I'm going to target. And I did all the analysis and I made my decision. All right, now's the time. I'm going to start looking for work. And then I started posting applications just like before. And nothing. Absolutely nothing. Not a callback, not an email, with the exception of we got your application. Nothing came back, and it just really hit me. Okay, this is different. This just feels different. I was laid off during the .com era, and I was laid off during the financial collapse of 2008. So I had the .com bubble, real estate bubble. I survived all these weird events. I always knew how to navigate them. But again, this one is different. One of the things that I used to do when I was younger and we'd hit a recession, I would fall back on my ability to sell software to local companies, and I would always be able to amass a series of contracts with multiple companies, and in order to build software that these companies may need. But we're talking 2001, and then again in 2008 through 2000 maybe 11. I was doing this sort of work because I got tired of the layoffs. I got tired of putting all my effort into one company only to be let go when things go bad. But again, this time is different because when I resort to my self-employment model, I'm just looking at all these offerings that AI and a lot of these SaaS applications are providing, and I don't see a need that has to be filled. Not only that, but I don't see a lot of people really building the next great killer app. Maybe I'm wrong. I get it. Like everything is moving to AI, so you got to add AI to your software or whatever that means. But that would be all fine and good if I were actually learning to code AI. But is it worth it? AI and SaaS and offshoring has already taken all these jobs from the United States where I live. It's already taken like half of these roles, if not more, from the U.S. Is it worth it to learn another tech skill that's probably just going to be replaced by AI once again? And I know you can still get into architecture, and my question is it worth it? So as a software engineer, one of the things that you do is you spend a lot of time figuring things out. And I used to tell people it's like playing a video game. Here's a business problem or a vision. Can you build it? And you sit down, and first thing you do is you lay out your pieces so that you're not so it's not just a big cluster. And then when you lay out your pieces, you figure out how each piece is glued together, and then you start either reusing code that you've previously wrote, or you'll write some custom code. Stole a lot of code from Stack Overflow. Don't act like you didn't. But that was fun for me. That was a video game for me. That was how I entertained myself. And over the past 7 months, I'm building personal projects, and I have to build the whatever. And instead of actually going and figuring out how to write the code, I just wrote a couple prompts into a text field, and there's code. I had to read it and maybe just kind of work it a little bit and debug it, but it just wasn't that much fun. I didn't have a great time. I'll put it that way. It was kind of boring at the end. I didn't have that feeling like I figured something out. I had the feeling that I finished something. Yay, great. But I didn't get that satisfaction of actually figuring out how something works, and then figuring out how to package it or maybe manipulate it so it works better or differently. If that's what the job is becoming, where you write a couple sentences in a prompt and it just spits out a perfect application. I mean, maybe not perfect. You're going to have to modify it, but is that going to be fun for you? Is it going to be fun to just ask a machine to do the work for you, and then you just kind of sit back and Cheez-Its, Diet Coke, because you're watching your figure, and your computer just does it for you, and you copy it, and then you paste it over in your whatever. I mean, it sounds like you're doing data entry at this point. Is that going to be fun for you? I used to consider the software engineering field a creative field. I put it right up there on par with painters and sculptors, musicians, poets, and then there's software engineering. Long story short, I'm probably going to take a little break from the industry. It's not fulfilling at this point. I'm not going to say I'm leaving forever, goodbye. I'm saying that I'm most likely going to find something else to do. At least in the meantime, hopefully, this will blow over and it'll return to actually, it being about people. Because right now it's about profits. It's not about people anymore. It's about profits and productivity above all. And I didn't get into this because I wanted to make other people profitable, or I wanted to make a manager look really good because he's able to be so productive with his team. I got into this because I enjoyed being around nerds just like me, misfits who just didn't really fit in. When you finally had a chance to have an outlet building something that not everybody can build, and you kind of huddle together and try to figure out how to deliver something in a record time, because they always want it done yesterday, right? But we all kind of band together as software engineers, and we all understood, okay, this is our role. We deliver at all costs. We figure out whatever there needs to be figured out. It didn't matter. And we were comfortable, or we were satisfied with our place in the world. And I guess the question is, am I really satisfied? And the answer is right now, no. I'm not really interested in data entry. If I were to retool and learn a new stack or learn a new role, who's to say that's not going to be replaced by AI too? So is that going to be a waste of time? Am I going to be here all over again? Again, I'm going to take some time away from the industry, work on something else, build a couple other skill sets that don't have anything to do with building software. For now, I'll report back with kind of how things are going. This is kind of one of the things I wanted to talk about on this podcast. The Dev Detour, it's kind of intersection between development career and time in the industry. The Dev Detour, what that name entails is for folks out there who you've been an engineer for a really long time and you're wondering if there's something else that I should be doing, maybe kind of interested in leaving the technical career for good, or maybe you just kind of want to shift. And even if you want to take a different approach, that's not your traditional approach. Most of the time it's college or trade school, learn how to code, get your first junior job. You're doing the grunt work. You're doing what needs to be done in order to make sure that the software is running efficiently and that you're growing in your career as well. And then you move your way on up from junior to mid, and then mid to senior. Once you make senior, after the senior, it's a lead role. And then after you make the lead role, usually move into some sort of management role. And that's pretty much the trajectory of my career until now. So if you're like I am and you're wondering, is this really for me? Is there anything else out there that I would be interested in? I'm telling you, after my research over the past 7 months, there is a lot of overlap between software engineering and other job types. And those are some of the things I'll get into in future podcasts. So hopefully if you enjoyed this content and you're interested in hearing more, smash that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one.